Hey Nindie fans, Tom here, also known as the XV Project, and welcome back to the Nindie Nexus podcast. We are back and we are relaunching ourselves with a brand new way of going about things, and we thought we'd get things started today with essentially, I'm joined by Mikey and Step, and what we're going to be doing is just talking about our favourite games from the year so far. For me, a lot of them are Nindie games, but you know, there are a few first party, third party and other types of games, and I'm sure the other two guys have some great games too, so we're just going to sit back, have a chat. Mikey's going to drink his beer, Step's going to have some coffee, and I've got a milkshake right next to me, and we're just going to talk and, see what we've been playing. So who wants to get things started? Actually, no, first, do you want to introduce yourself, Mikey? Thank you for joining me today.
Sure thing, Tom. Thanks for having me. Glad to be back. Glad to have everybody back. I mean, it's been crazy over at the site, and we've been, pursuing all kinds of new projects and stuff, and it feels good just to sit down again, talk about games, get back to the roots a little bit. So I wanted to, let me introduce myself. My name is Mikey. Go by Mikey SNES on the site. I am one of the co-founders of the site, along with Rob, and unfortunately he is unable to make it today, but he'll be listening to this, I'm sure, along with everyone else.
Thanks, Mikey. That's true. Things have been crazy, in the past couple of weeks and months, but, we're back. And if you don't know, the podcast now is going to be going on YouTube, so hopefully these guys are going to be talking about games that I can get clips of, because if they don't, I'm going to struggle to do that. But yeah, Step, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone today?
Hey guys, I'm Steppin. I'm the PR manager over at Nindie Nexus, and right now, my life is taken over by Monster Hunter, but of course I've played other good things.
He's already played about 600 hours of Monster Hunter in the last week, I think.
I'm losing track of days, man.
When your Switch hits that 10-day mark, it's going to be like hours played. Just slow down, man, slow down. There's a lot of game here. Have you already has it already been 10 days?
Lord, has it?
I don't think so. Not quite.
Was it last Tuesday? Yeah, it was last Tuesday, wasn't it? So
that's the point. It could have been 10 days right now. I wouldn't know.
He's already put 50 hours in.
Monster Hunter I've played.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's ask you, Step, because I wonder what one of your games is going to be. Why don't you start and tell me what's been one of your favorite games so far this year? And I want to guess it rhymes with Honster Munter.
Yep, that would be it. But if we were gonna go for something a little less under the radar, or a little more under the radar, I'd have to say, even though I guess it's not technically an indie, it's been re-released so many times at this point, it's almost ridiculous, but it's still just as good no matter what. Okami. I ran through that as quickly as I possibly could. It's just a fantastic game. I've played it, 5 or 6 times now, and still just one of my favorites ever, and underrated, sadly.
The past couple of weeks, every time I've seen you online, I go to see what you're playing. It was Monster Hunter, and before that, it was like Okami for about 3 weeks, because I wanted to really get into Okami again. I picked it up. I played at this point, I've actually played about 4 hours now, which is, a lot of people say like the first 5 hours are rubbish, and then it gets really good. But, I was like busy on Hollow Knight, and you were like always on Okami. And that is such a beautiful game. And you know what? They're actually doing it right. They're giving it a great price point. I mean, in the UK, it was £15, which, considering Nintendo re-release games for like a full, $60 price point, I think it's actually such a great idea. It's a gorgeous looking game. It runs as well on the Switch as it does on every other system. So the Switch is the best version to play. And, I agree. Okami has been a game I've loved playing so far. Have you picked it up, Mikey, or have you already played it, or have you just stayed away from it?
I've actually never played it, have no experience with it, and I have not picked it up yet, but I know that it's highly regarded, and you guys have been saying nothing but great things about it, so I would definitely consider picking it up. I've just been so busy with all the other indie games that have been coming out, and so it's hard to find the time to finish those, let alone start a new one, which I was going to mention earlier when we were talking about Step and Monster Hunters and a bunch of other games, a bunch of other online games, Paladins, and 20XX, all the co-op ones. I've been wanting to play with you guys, but it seems like every time I finally get around to either picking it up or getting online at the same time, like is just stepping on another level. He's already beat the game. He's already, way too far. So I don't know. We gotta figure that out.
We do. I mean, you're right. There's so many games, but I think there's what we're gonna see now, and definitely by the end of the year with Smash and Diablo and games like that coming out. By the end of year 2, the Switch is gonna have a really good, I think, online set of games, and the indies are helping. One of the games which I will just mention really briefly now, is Murphy's Law, which is it's actually a really fun game, and it's frustrating because it's just fundamentally, because of the server issues, a boring, not boring, it's just a bad game to play, because the actual concept is amazing. I think it's something a lot of people are excited for, but there's all this thing about Nintendo and online games, but essentially Murphy's Law, you have 4 people on each team, and you steal mass from other players by shooting them, which allows you to get into, so if you get shot at a lot and you'll become really small, you can get into really tight and small areas, whereas if you get big, you're an easier target, but you can kind of jump up and go right to the top of the map. But the server issues just plagued that game, and I think there's a lot of people are quite afraid, and I can definitely agree with how Nintendo's online is going to end up, because there's a lot of good online games, like you said, stuff like Paladins, and I'm really interested to see how the online service affects them.
Well, if we're going to go into that too, we've got a couple of upcoming really awesome looking online games. I guess they're just doing it alongside of their September release of the online service. But have you guys checked out Towerfall yet?
Not I.
I know who developed it.
Okay.
I know who's going to be in it from my favorite game this year.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Madeline and Badeline.
Are they putting Madeline in it? Oh, I didn't know that.
And Badeline, they're putting her purple-haired form in. It actually looks quite fun. I won't talk about Celestia Set though. I won't steal your thunder. So tell me a bit more about Towerfall.
All right, so Towerfall, I've always skipped over it on other systems just because I've just never gotten around to it, and now it's going to be on Switch, which is going to be the perfect system for it, of course, as we always talk about. The handheld accessibility just matches this game so well, but kind of in the vein of Smash, well, the original, it was just 4 players in one arena, and of course, everybody's equipped with bows, you get kind of trap items, and it's a versus. Everybody goes at each other, and at the same time, the level's working against you, there's death traps all around you, and it's a really fast and frantic multiplayer game. But with the Switch edition, they've made it to where it's 6-player instead of 4, so it'll be, I guess, essentially 6 people going at each other at once. So it looks really good, and it's a very smooth game, is one of the reasons I think it took off so well on other systems. Everything just runs so well while the chaos is happening.
Is it just local multiplayer? I'm going to assume there's no online element.
No, it was online on other systems.
Was it?
I'm going to say yes, but feel free to fact check me.
What I'll do right now, let me just check, because I am really interested in that game if it's online, because it's kind of like it looks so fun.
I say that with the inclusion of the 6-person multiplayer, that makes me think maybe they're leaning in that direction.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. And while you're looking that up, Tom, I'll kind of mention mine. Didn't really talk about what I enjoyed this year, but I'm honestly, I've been on the Devolver Digital hype train recently. I hadn't had much experience with them until Enter the Gungeon, I guess, would have been my first game. And I'm really regretting that I didn't buy it sooner. I mean, I love that game. And then just everything after that I've played, that I've purchased, they're all probably my favorite. But I think I'm honestly, I'm not completely done with it yet, but I want to say that The Messenger is going to be up there for me for one of my favorites for this year, which is surprising. I wasn't sure how to feel about it. when I first, saw the news and all that, but it definitely lives up to the hype. And I'm working on that review, or I will be very soon.
That's good to hear, because I remember you saying something the other day about how the opening parts of the game weren't impressing you very much. So it's good to hear that it's caught on and gone a different direction for you.
Yeah, the humor in it kind of starts out like making fun of the tropes, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, we have this quest for you, and well, I don't remember the specific quotes, but it basically just makes fun of all the stuff back in the day. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously, and in the first level there's a lot of dialogue and everything is sarcastic, and I was like, all right, if this is gonna be how the whole game is, like, I don't know, if it'll get old soon or not, but it kind of tones down a little bit, and it actually has some really good humor in it. And it's very similar to the humor that you find in like Crossing Souls. Step would know about that one.
Yes.
You know what
Yes,
the best thing about Devolver is, just real quick? It's not even the games, it's the E3 presentations. The E3s are absolutely incredible. Have you seen the E3s?
I heard about the last one they did. It sounded pretty funny. It's a shame I missed it.
Like, they literally just spend about half an hour just parodying, I can't even say the word now. Doing parodies, there we go, of other companies. So this year, they just kind of like went crazy about like microtransactions and stuff, but it's all like a joke. And then I think at the end of the 2017 one, the presenter, her head just like exploded. It was they're a very strange company, but they produce very consistently good games.
Yeah, you know what? I did hear about it. I didn't see either of them. I should go back and watch them though. And I wonder, just because it seems like all the games that they develop or help develop are they have like elements that are similar, or that kind of come through in each game. And I wonder how much say they have in each game, or if they leave it up to the developers. Because if so, I mean, they all seem to be very, very similar in terms of the quality and kind of like the humor in them. And you can definitely tell that they had a hand in it,
To me, there is this theme across Devolver's games of humour playing a very important part in their games. So you've said in The Messenger, there's a lot of humour in there. In Enter the Gungeon, there's so many like puns and parodies of like there's Mega Man guns in Enter the Gungeon, and they've all got funny names and stuff. Minute, that looks to have something like that in it. Crossing Souls, again, they very much seem to kind of enjoy having fun with themselves, and I think that's probably something they look for when they're looking for games to publish, because every game that I've seen from them seems to have some elements of humor in them.
Except for, and here's the funny thing, their most serious line of games still hasn't appeared on the Switch, so I'm hoping for the third one, and I'm hoping for some ports of Hotline Miami. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. That was my first experience with them, and they are those games are a different kind of level of game. They really, for whatever I was missing as far as being into indies, those games certainly turn me on even more into the genre.
All I know about Hotline Miami is that every time there's an indie direct, everyone's just like, "Give me Hotline Miami now, Nintendo, god damn it." So I mean, it seems that they're pretty great games. Devolver's just like, I mean, I don't think there's a single developer who are really kind of killing it right now, especially over the last month. They've released a game every week. We've got Broforce coming up next week, which seems to have a lot of performance issues, but the actual game looks quite good, so if they can sort that out, that'd be great. But when there's a lot of shovelware coming to the Switch, it's always great to have a developer who is consistently putting out great games. And speaking of great games, I just want to really quickly talk about, I said it earlier, I did name drop it, my favourite game of this year, and I think if I did a review of it, it'd be a 10. I think it's the best game I'll play this year, is Celeste, and you guys know I absolutely love platformers. Half of the games on my Switch are probably platformers in some way, shape or form, but Celeste is absolutely incredible. I'd say it's probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of different people. Actually, I've seen it online a lot, and that's one of the games that I've never played before, and I'm not sure if I will. Not that I don't believe everybody that's saying how good it is, but I've never been a fan of Super Meat Boy, which I know is probably an unpopular opinion, but I just don't enjoy the difficulty, like dying so many times. And so I don't know if it's anything like that, but I've heard people compare it, and so I think that's what's kept me away from it, at least till now.
What I will say is there was only one section which made me consider sacrificing my soul to Satan in order to complete it. It took me one screen, 15 seconds of gameplay took me 2 hours to do.
Good lord.
But apart from that, I was sat with my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, "Do you think you should put that down?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm gonna complete this." 20 minutes later, "Have you done it yet?" Nearly. I got so close. Another 25 minutes later, "How you doing?" "Yeah, I've nailed it. I know what I'm doing now." I knew what I was doing after about 2 minutes, but I was just sat there for an hour and a half. But apart from that, it's like hard, but in the sense that I wrote something about it quite a while ago, and how I described it was that there's two possibilities. You either know your way across a room, like across a screen, by knowing the path that you have to take, and the path is hard, or you don't know the way to get across, but it's easy. Like, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah. Sadly, I'm like Mikey, where the genre was never for me. Also, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I really did not like Super Meat Boy, and my experience with it kept me from playing Celeste. But now, especially with everything you said about it, I kind of regret that I have not tried it.
Hand on heart, I struggle to, because I don't really go back and, like, it's not something I'd go back and play now, but as an experience, it is probably one of the best I will have on the Switch. As someone who's owned a Switch for nearly a year, the only game which topped it, in the moment, how it's making me feel, how I'm enjoying playing it, was Breath of the Wild, for different reasons. But Celeste, it has incredible gameplay. The story is absolutely brilliant, and the way the story's told, there's a lot of things that the team put into it that are very touchy, very emotional subjects, and they come across really, really, really well. It isn't patronizing, but at the same time, it's deep enough to have an impact. But I'll stop gushing about Celeste, because I could probably do a whole hour thing about Celeste. Maybe I will do that one day. Who knows? But I know that Step, you'll have another game, because you play so many games. He actually, just for context here, he says his child turned it off. I know it was him. He turned off people being able to see his library on the Switch on his friend list. I know he did that on purpose to stop me from shaming him. I used to love doing that, going on and seeing how many games he'd bought.
Well, that's actually something I wanted to ask too. I wanted to ask, because I've had my Switch a year and a half now. I got it just pretty soon after launch, but I want to see how many games that you guys actually have on your Switch right now.
Oh, installed. Oh, because I've deleted quite a few.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do? I'll do installed right now. Let me count.
Yeah, we can go with installed.
Oh, there's a lovely chime of the Switch. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 complete rows, so that's 30, and then I have 3, so I have 33 currently installed. We're going all the way. You know what, Mikey? You asked for it. We're going all the way. That's another 11, so that's 44.
I counted mine beforehand, and I just broke 60 right now.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I have about 50. Oh, God.
That's the most games I've had on any system in my life.
I bet you haven't even completed half of them, because neither have I.
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Oh man, I've bought more on my Switch since bloody Black Friday, because that's when I got mine, than I have on my PS4, Wii U, and 3DS in about 8 years. Oh Jesus! And I mean, most of mine are indies, man.
You guys want to know how many I got?
Oh God, here we go. I'm gonna go about 85.
It's got to be more. It's got to. I bet you broke 100.
I'm gonna keep it a mystery. I'm not gonna say. We're just gonna keep everybody guessing.
Give us within.
Is it over or under 100?
Mikey, you were warm. I'll say that.
I bet it's over.
It's over.
That's the laugh of guilt. 200. Tom, you're very warm. There are 1,000 games on the Switch. I bought them all. Oh, you could be a collector. I feel sorry for those guys. Buy every single game. God.
Well, so let me ask you this then, for both of you guys. What's one game, could be indie or otherwise, that you regret not finishing yet?
Ooh, not finishing. What, as in that I want to get back into?
Yeah, like maybe you didn't beat the main story, or you just didn't play it as much as you wanted to.
I'd say for me, it's going to be Hollow Knight, because as I beat the main story, but with all the DLC that just came out, and sadly with all the games that just came out as well that I'm playing, there's just no way I'm going to be able to get back and play the DLC anytime soon.
Let me just establish for everyone listening right now, Steph got the worst ending in Hollow Knight, and it's a disgrace, and he refuses to go back and get at least the second best one, or even the third best one. He's just gone for the rubbish one.
Well, to be fair, I spoiled all three for myself, because I got the worst one. I was like, that can't be the ending. So I went on YouTube, and I was like, that... Because, I was angry. I was upset. Like, I thought...
But hang on, make sure... Remember, Mikey hasn't actually finished it yet, so don't say anything that will spoil it.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't even know there was multiple endings, so...
Well, and also, for the people out there listening, just please, God, make sure you complete your spirit levels. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Just do your dream levels.
I think
so
there's
one of my games as well.
There's about, I think with the new DLC, there's about 5 endings.
Oh, good God!
I mean, I won't lie to you, Mikey. After what Step said to me, I did go. There's like 3 that you can kind of get, and I'm trying to avoid saying anything. There's 3 like kind of that you can get by being a good player at the game, and then there's 2 more which are just like, oh yeah, I love sticking pins in my eyes while I play my games. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just watching that on YouTube.
Well, see, so the weird thing about that to me is Step's like me, and we play a lot of RPGs, and I mean, I assume that we're both big into exploring, so it kind of surprises me that Step wouldn't go through everything, you know what I mean? Or at least try.
It's because he cheated.
I think at the time, yeah, I cheated, because at the time I was reviewing something. I don't remember what it was. It was one of my last couple of reviews. And so I was trying to review, and then I was playing another game on the side, and then I had Hollow Knight. So I cheated and used a guide and went through it because I wanted the experience, but I didn't have the time to sit and explore it like I should have. So that's why Hollow Knight is definitely one of my biggest triumphs and regrets of the year.
That game is best played when you just don't have a clue what you're doing. I think I have about 38 hours, and I was just like, you know what? I know I'm not going to be able to 12% the game because I'm not that good, but I've put a decent amount of time into it, and I've really enjoyed my time. And for £10, like, no word of a lie, like, let's be honest, if you're looking for a bargain game on the Switch, Hollow Knight is the best. The amount of hours you get out of that game for the price, it's incredible. So finish it, Mikey. Damn it. Finish it.
I will. It's on the list. And actually, there's a couple that I wanted to mention that I didn't get to finish that I really did want to, but certain things were preventing me, I guess is the best way to describe it. So one of them, actually, both of these will probably surprise you guys, but the first one that I want to mention is, and these are both kind of smaller indies, but the first one is Sling Ming. So that one's like a physics-based platformer-ish, and it's really difficult. I think they put out an update that give you an easy mode or an easier mode, but the original game was just brutal. It was very difficult, and I got probably 2/3 of the way through the game, and that would be a nice one to go back and play someday. And then another one is Eternal Edge, which is kind of RPG-ish, and it's very blocky, kind of like like Minecrafty characters, but the environments are 3D and not blocky. But I actually I held off on that one because there was a glitch and it happened to me once already, that your file won't load up again. It'll just stay black, and I had to restart my game. And so after that, I was kind of scared to to keep playing because I thought all my progress was going to go out the window. But I definitely put like a good 20-30 hours into that one already.
I mean, I remember seeing Eternal Edge. It actually looked like a really fun game, but I can't remember it ever coming out on the like UK eShop. And speaking of which, real quick, actually, Sleep Tight has still not come out on the UK eShop.
Well, that's crazy. That's actually another one I wanted to get. It's kind of a sore subject for me, but I'm sure I'll get it eventually.
I've triggered horrible memories. I'm sorry, Mikey. We don't talk about Sleep Tight, but yeah, not on the EU eShop. It's crazy. I'm glad that Rob's not here because I might say something that's going to break his heart. I've only played about 3 hours of Shantae Half Genie Hero, and
I actually don't like Shantae, so
I was so excited because like Rob was like raving about it, and I think the game looks amazing, and there's so much content. I mean, I think they just added like a brand new mode to it a couple of weeks ago to celebrate summer. And but I played a couple of hours, and then I remember because I got it pretty much the same day as I got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze when that came out, and I just kind of ended up going with Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong's amazing, another one of my favorite games this year. But yeah, Shantae's a game I want to get time into, and another one which Step, this is 100% gonna make you cry, so I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna have to say it. I have only put 5 hours into Hyrule Warriors.
Oh my god. Oh, it hurts.
I'm like really sorry.
I've never played it, so.
Oh, Mikey.
It gave me like a power trip when like I first started playing it. When you just like Link and you're ripping into people, and then like I played a level the other day and I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I need something. I think I need to like dedicate time to, and I don't know. There's other games that I ended up playing. I think that's a problem with the Switch. Like you get so distracted. You go on the eShop and then there's like, ooh, something new. It's like when you're a child and there's like a new toy for you, and then you kind of forget about all the old ones. But they're two games I really want to go back and finish because they are fun. There's just so many games, and there's like 5 games I'm getting in September, and I love Marvel, and I'm trying to not get Spider-Man because I know if I get that, then I'm screwed.
Yeah, no, I sold my PS3 a long time, or PS4, well, both of them, but my PS4 most recently a while back, just because there's too much to focus on. I don't even have time for all the games on Switch, let alone any other platform. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially just to sit down in front of a TV and play. I just can't. With all the games going on, I prefer the mobile. I can take them in my house, and even then, it's just so hard to keep up.
It's just, there's, especially for indies, I think it's why they've been so successful on the Switch. There's literally if a game runs as well on the Switch, and I think this is something that Akami does so well. If it runs as well on the Switch as it does on other systems, why would you buy it on your PS4? The Switch is just breathtakingly, incredibly amazing because, I can buy a game like, I don't know, Enter the Gungeon, and it, the frame rate's lower on the Switch, but apart from that, would I cut the frame rate in half to be able to play it on the toilet? Yeah, I would. Have you got any games that you want to go back and put more time into? Step.
I know he does.
Oh.
About 60. Just lifts up Switch, the entire thing. I still haven't explored all the settings yet.
I guess the ones that I do, I still do go back and put more time into. Gungeon, of course, I haven't completed all the way through, so I go through that. 20 XX, I still revisit constantly. What's another one? Dead Cells. I would love to see that through to completion, but that's obviously going to be a long journey. So I just, get in there when I can.
Yeah, Dead Cells is one that I want to get back to too. I only got to the first boss and I didn't beat him. And I know one of our guys, Zeno, he said he put like 50 hours into it. And I think he said he beat it on a couple different difficulties, but 50 hours is a long time to put into a rogue.
How good does the combat in Dead Cells feel, though?
Oh, it's smooth, man.
It's amazing.
Devil May Cry. It's just, I
don't understand how they've managed to do that in a 2D game. It's like when I play something like Battlefield and, you get really good feedback when you shoot someone. That's how I feel with Dead Cells. Like, I feel like when I'm, slashing with something, it actually, has a real impact on the, I feel there's actually something coming back into me when I do it. I mean, I think Dead Cells is, that's a game where it's like, oh, yeah, is Dead Cells a good game? It's like, well, I don't know. Why don't you see what every single person's saying about it? I mean, Dead Cells is a game you can't really say anything bad about, 100%. And if you do, you don't deserve to have a Switch, so give it back.
Yep, and I'll say the same thing with The Messenger. So, Tom, got to get on that.
I'm going to get on it. Just, I got some other games to play, and I'm still trying to 100% Just Dance 2018. Why do you think I bought that up a couple of weeks ago? That's a tough game to beat.
Monster Hunter.
Just Dance.
Yep. We got to play that later today. Oh, there's a big one actually that I know Step will be mad at me for this one, but I want to definitely go back and play. I only put about 15 hours or so into it. Is Ease 8. I definitely want to go back and beat that one. That's a huge one that I'm and Xenoblade, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, real quick for the viewers, Ease 8 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If you have not beaten one of them, do it. Just do it.
Which one first?
Oh, Xenoblade. As much as I love Ease, oh my God, Xenoblade 2.
How long is that
Chronicles
game though? I was thinking I might try and get the DLC.
I just main game I ran close to 120 hours.
Jesus Christ! In a single player game.
Yeah, and I still didn't see anywhere near everything that game has going on. So I can only imagine what the DLC added.
Oh yeah, I heard the DLC was like another game almost. Like,
well, that's what it's marketed as, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially, it takes place centuries before what happens in the main game. You learn because the half of the characters in the story, the Blades, are, thousands upon thousands of years old, some of them, and have stories, from another lifetime. And this will be kind of exploring one of those other lifetimes.
As you do. Just casual century skipping. That's just what you do in a game. I would like to pick up Xenoblade 2, to be honest, but I don't know. I just don't know if I can put that much time into a game. Loads of people are like, oh yeah, it gets really good after 20 hours. It's like, oh, I don't know if I have 20 hours to be bored.
I got right to that point. That's exactly where I stopped, is like right before the chapter where everybody says it gets really good. So I feel like it was good and bad. Like it was good because now I can jump back into it at some point and enjoy just greatness for the next 80 hours. And then I can, but bad that I didn't get to see all that. I mean, it was good, for the first 15, 20 hours, but if it gets even better, it's going to be great.
It does. The first 20 hours and a lot of people I guess, agree on this. The first 20 hours are really still just teaching you the mechanics of the game. As odd as that is, you basically get a 20-hour, almost a day-long tutorial before things start really getting into the good part of the grind.
I don't know. The idea of the good part of the grind doesn't really appeal to me that much. Maybe.
You're still young. Your attention span's everywhere. You know?
Whoa, I've put 100 and something. Actually, I tell you what, talking about hours, do you want to know how many I've put into Splatoon 2? 185, there you go.
Good lord.
I put 120 into Zelda. I still want to go back and play that game more.
180 hours into something where the matches are 5 minutes long.
3 minutes, actually.
Oh, good lord.
Exactly. Yeah, but I've spent about 70 of those hours trying on hats in the store to get a good hat.
So, what's the indie game then that you put the most amount of time into? So not AAA or first party, but indie games.
For me,
I have a winner, but I don't think it deserves to be the winner. But okay, no word of a lie. I have 50 hours in Stardew Valley, and I think I put about 40 of those in the first 10 days of the game.
Did the multiplayer on that come out yet? I think that's like along the lines with the drop of the online, right?
Oh, I don't know. The online's a mess. Who even knows when that's coming out? We're in September and they still haven't said when it's bloody coming out.
I'm waiting to play it for the co-op. Like, I own it. I just have not touched it yet. I'm waiting for the co-op.
I will make a farm with you. Stardew Valley is a really fun game. Like, I got so addicted to it, but I don't know. It is such a good game. I mean, I think apart from Stardew Valley, in the week and a bit I've had Bad North, I'm up to 15 hours in that. I beat it for the first time the other day, actually, and I was like dancing in my bed like, oh yeah, let's go.
Okay, you ready for this?
Oh god, here we go.
In The Binding of Isaac, I have 212 hours.
What?
That's insane.
Oh, you are kidding me.
And I will be adding more to it constantly. I just haven't played it in a little while, but I'll be back.
Oh my god. 212 hours.
And still have not seen everything in that game. They're about to drop another DLC pack, so.
I have 20.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the game that I have the most time in is either...
Well, unless you come out here right now, Mikey, and say you have 900 hours in then to the Gungeon, I'm not going to be surprised anymore.
No, not even close. I put 30 plus hours into The Lost Child, and I have about more or less the same amount of time into Portal Knights as well. And so those are probably my two most played indie games.
Here we have a normal person who is a little bit reckless with their Switch, but you know, still 200 hours into Binding of Isaac.
It's a roguelike, man.
I know it's a roguelike, but Jesus, when did you get it? If you got it at launch, that's somewhat acceptable.
And to keep this in mind too, I put that many hours into it before I started writing for the site, because I have not played it since I started reviewing for you guys.
I remember this is a family-friendly podcast, so I'm going to keep those words to myself. But you,
I don't think I put 200. I maybe put 200 hours into like Oblivion or Skyrim back in the day, but other than that, I don't think I've ever put that many hours into a game. I'd say The Witcher was probably up there too, Witcher 3, but yeah, I've never put that many hours into anything.
I don't think I could do that with a single player game. I think I have so many hours in a lot of multiplayer games. You know, I'll hit 200 on Splatoon. You know, I've probably had close to, God, if you could track like stats on PS4, I'd be quite scared to see how much I play stuff like Fortnite. But I don't know. I don't know if a single player game could hold me for that long.
Sometimes a game will just, the art style, I don't know if you guys remember Castle Crashers, one of the very first indie games.
Coming to Switch.
Big indie. God, I wish.
It is?
It's something that mindless, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It is. I am 99% sure it's coming to Switch.
Don't crush my dreams, Tom.
Okay, I've typed it in.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'll keep going while Tom's looking that up. But yeah, something about those kind of cartoony art styles where it's very cartoony, but at the same time super adult, combined with just the roguelite elements in the co-op, it just was a perfect match. So I play it with my friends, or I would play it with my friends every chance I got. We would be up all night playing like children again. Fantastic game if you have not tried it and you like roguelikes.
I have not, but when or if it comes out, we got to get on that.
Oh, I'm all over it. Let's do it.
All right, I have seen something about this game coming to the Switch. I'm not even kidding, but I cannot find it now. I don't want to let you down, but I swear to God. All right, I'm off to Twitter.
Yep.
You guys carry on talking. I'm gonna find out when this game's coming to the Switch.
My pitchfork, I'm doing it.
Hang on. This is a very tense moment. I swear I saw it on the coming soon page of the eShop.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Well, let's go and move into the next thing while Tom's looking around. I think he wanted to talk about what our most looked at upcoming indie games are. It's okay, Tom.
Whoa, hang on, just 1 second. Okay. There's something I want to talk about, and I didn't talk about it the other day, and I'm going to talk about it now. And I think you know what game I am referring to.
Do I? Does it start with a B and end with a north?
Yes, it does.
Surprise.
When the first thing I ever did for the site was I was in a podcast and it was reacting to the Spring Nindie Direct, and there was a certain game by a certain development team publisher called Raw Fury, and this game was called Bad North, and it was the single game in 2018 that I was hyped for. You know, Pokemon, yeah, Pokemon's Pokemon. But Bad North is Bad North. And, you know, is Bad North... I made a lot of statements about Bad North. You know, I said it was the best game on the Switch. I said it was my favourite game I have played on the Switch. It's one of my favourite games of all time. And, you know, I do think it's a very, very good game. So buy it.
I'm actually planning on buying that when I've got some extra funds. I need a good RTS-like game.
It is... The biggest fault I have with the game is that it's very not easy. I'm trying to think what I said in my review. It's not easy, but if you organise correctly, you can sweep through the first half of the game. And then you get to a point, and then these guys with bows come in, and the bows can kick your soldiers off the mountain, and you can get absolutely slaughtered in 1 minute. And when that happens, I want to punch a wall. But you know, apart from that, it's so fun. It looks beautiful. It runs fairly well. There's some problems with that, but I mean, as far as the first game they've made, and you know, bringing a game like that to the Switch before other consoles. I would really recommend Bad North. You know, if you're looking for a real-time strategy game, it's probably the best one on the Switch. I can't really think of any others, to be honest. You know, and it kind of... as Step will know, I love Kingdom Rush, and it's not like Kingdom Rush, so it's a bit of a weird comparison to make, but it's kind of like very tower defense-y in a way. So, yeah, go pick it up. But now that I've interrupted everyone and ruined the flow of everything with that talk, I will... we were going to move on to the games we're excited for in the rest of the year. And Mikey, there must be something. What is the one that you've seen, you know, third party, first party, Nindie? What is the one game that you've seen that's coming out in the rest of this year that you're like, oh God, I cannot wait to add you to my backlog?
Well, I'm going to say two things. I already pre-ordered and paid for Smash, but that's probably not the game that fits the question that you just asked. I'm going to say Hyperlight Drifter is probably mine for the foreseeable future here. And even that, I'm not sure if I'll get it on release or not. I may take some time to work on my backlog a little bit, but I always say that, and then 30 more indie games come out, and I forget about it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That is a game which I have promised myself I'm going to pick up and play it straight through. None of this, I'll start it and then go on something else. I have committed that on the 6th of September, 3 days time, this Thursday, I'm going to get that game on the eShop. I'm going to buy it, I'm going to spend some gold coins on it. It's going to get downloaded and I'm going to play it through straight. No, I'm not going to play another game on my Switch until I finish it. That is my solution. Step, take this advice. Alright, you get your game, you go cold turkey on the rest. Because that game looks like an amazing Zelda-esque game, so that is going to be played straight through.
Well, if it really is anything like what you say, I'll definitely own it.
I mean, it looks incredible. That's kind of what I'm basing my thoughts off. It looks amazing, and they're adding Switch exclusive content, which always gets a thumbs up from me. So, 6th of September, pick it up. I mean, you've kind of stolen one of mine, Mikey, so, a little bit annoying.
Well, okay, let me follow up with this then. This game already came out and it looked good, but I've heard literally nothing on this game. Have you guys heard anything, seen anything, or played Next Up Hero?
I actually have. I have played it on PS4.
I mean, asking Step if he's played a game is like asking a bird if it can fly. He's either played it in the last week, 6 years ago, or, it's in his Switch somewhere. Come on, Mikey, you know that at this point. If you ask him if he's played a game, he's going to have played it at some point.
It's, I played it at one of my friend's houses. The co-op is really fun. It's really difficult. You will die a lot, but the mechanics, as far as using your own dead souls to kind of build your own little mini group, is pretty unique and interesting. It's just the grind itself could possibly turn some people off because it will take you a while to build up the characters you need to actually start beating the tougher bosses. But it's a fun game.
So kind of like Monster Hunter in a way?
No,
Shh, don't bring Monster
I'd say
Hunter.
more like don't.
It's a
So
grind.
guys, Monster Hunter, it is a really good game, and here is why.
It's isometric, and you build the group that you build. You actually kind of form it's more an action RPG with roguelike elements. You'll gain equipment, stuff like that. But the most important part is building up the dead characters that you have around you, which are made up of the more powerful yous that have died. So it's like a odd circle of life kind of thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I might have to look into that later on. So what about you then, Step? What are you looking forward to coming out in the remainder of the year here?
Okay, well, I've got two that I've got my eyes on right now. So I'll start with the smaller, not necessarily smaller in game size, but from a big company that we're talking about right now, from Devolver Digital. And it is the one. It was going to be Gato Roboto, and then I cut out. So it's a
I know you,
side-scroller,
Step.
Metroidvania, and you are a cat that drives a mech. It uses the black and white aesthetics from Minute, except in a side-scrolling form. And I mean, dude, what else do you need? You're a cat driving a mech, and I love anything with mechs in it, so I'm super excited for that one.
Well, I'm glad you are. That
Can't talk about mechs until Damon comes out.
Oh, I know. Don't even remind me of that. I'm keeping it a secret for myself. Yep, Demon X Machina.
That game just doesn't really look that good to me.
Oh, Tom.
Well, I think we've had this discussion. I really didn't like Nintendo's E3, and that was one of the reasons why. But, that's a discussion for another time.
It is. Okay, well, then we'll go into the second one. And that's going to have to be Hover for me. I'm sure a lot of people have already gotten their eyes on this by now, but we were talking about it before the show, and it's like a Jet Set Radio mixed with, I want to say, Mirror's Edge. is a lot of the comparison I've been seeing lately. The online mode looks like it's going to be insanely fun, and I mean, you're just jumping and skating around. If it's anything like Jet Set Radio, I'll be addicted instantly because that's a classic.
Well, to me, and this is going to be a really, really weird comparison, but from how it looks really similar to this old Sonic game, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. It was like it was on the PS2, and it was like this Sonic racing game, and I cannot remember what it's called now, and I need to figure out what this game was called.
Was it Sonic Racing?
It could have been Sonic Racing. I remember it was on the PS2. Sonic Riders. That's it.
Oh, Riders. Okay.
I don't even know why, but I looked at it, and that's just what it reminded me of. And that's just a really random tidbit that no one cares about, but I thought I'd add it in. It's worthy analysis. This game looks like Sonic Riders. It does look quite good, to be fair. But I mean, at this point, I'm like, if a game's not getting an 85 or above on Metacritic, it's just gonna go on to the for sale pile, and I'll just wait for it to go on sale. It's what I've been.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards with these indie games, because there's so many, and it's like we want to review them all, but it's not possible. Even with more than 10 people actively reviewing games, it just doesn't happen.
I mean, Nintendo were right when they said they wanted to get 30 games out a week on the eShop. It's absolutely manic. It is. Yeah. I mean, they need to create the eShop because there are so many games which, if you don't find a game within a week of it coming out, it's already like gone.
Speaking of manic, Tom, let's talk about you a little bit. What game are you excited for coming out in the rest of the year?
This is a very, very, very good question. I mean, Hyper Light Drifter. I keep saying Hyper Life. That's 100% one. I can't wait for that, but that don't really count because that's coming out in like 4 days. I would say, what am I really looking forward to? I'm intrigued more than looking forward to. I'm quite intrigued to see how Pokemon Let's Go turns out in terms of like big games, because I'm a bit unsure of whether I am a fan of the direction they're going with that. So that's definitely one that I'm quite looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like. I'm really looking forward to playing Undertale for the first time, actually. I haven't actually played it before, and I don't really know a lot about it, but it looks a lot like Earthbound, and it looks like a really intriguing game. It's quite cheap as well, I think, so that's probably something that I'm going to pick up. And I think is it a turn-based RPG?
It is, and
Step doesn't like it, you can tell.
Well, it's got an odd mechanic to it, which is why I've never played it, but I'm going to test it when it comes to the Switch. And it's got something in it where, yes, it is a turn-based RPG, but they don't want you to fight. Like, you are going through conversations before battle, and the intended purpose of the conversations is you're trying to talk your way out of a fight. And then an RPG-like battle happens if you fail the conversation, from what I understand. So that just kind of seems not fun to me, but I'm going to try.
I mean, screw that. I'm going to be killing all these people if that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect our ending or anything. I'm going for it. Screw it. Yeah.
Well, that is one I'm really looking forward to, just because like it's so famous now and it's such an infamous game that it must be good. And another one which I don't think it's going to be coming out this year, but I'll just say real quick, Untitled Goose Game looks absolutely amazing.
I'm sorry, it's called what?
Untitled Goose Game. You play a goose and you have to like run around and do stuff.
Like a goose simulator?
Yeah. Like a goddamn goose simulator.
What did Farming Simulator do to you?
I mean, I don't even know, man. It just looks really fun. From what I've seen, there's like this thing where you're trying to like steal something from a farmer and you have to like hide. It looks pretty crazy. It's filling the the Goose Simulator hole right now on the Switch. You really put me on the spot, and like there's Moonlighter. There you go. I'll go with Moonlighter. That'll be my really big one as an indie.
I'm in support of that.
I've got my physical edition for £7.50 off Amazon UK. I'm ready.
And I will tell you, Mikey and Tom, since you both said you're interested in it, buy Hyper Light Drifter. And anybody listening, get that game.
There we have it. Step's official approval.
Yep.
How long is it?
Not, well, if you're not terrible, not very long.
10 hours?
I mean, not too... I'd say like Hollow Knight length.
Yeah, but is this Hollow Knight length for you or Hollow Knight length for like me?
I think we could meet in the middle and say it
20.
might take. Yeah.
Well, that's good enough for me. I like a long game. Like I said, I'm going to blast through it. And I'm going to probably review it if I've got the time. Just shoot through it. Just bang it out. I thought that game would come a lot later than it did.
I'm
be
happy
honest.
it's just coming. It sounds like Mikey's probably busy looking up Gato Roboto. I think
No, he's definitely looking for that Goose game.
That must be it.
I heard about Untitled Goose Game a while back. It looks like it would probably be enjoyable for a bit, and I see the appeal in it, and I'm all for it. I just don't think it's my style of game. I'm not big on anything that has simulator in the title or even related to simulators. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been big on those. I'm more of a RPG, action, platformer, puzzle game person.
I mean, for all you know, Untitled Goose Game could be the deepest RPG of modern times. Upgrade your goose.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I haven't seen. You can upgrade your bite.
Exactly. Elemental bites. Slow down your opponents with a nice bike.
Your
Not
ability
a bike.
to chase children away that are trying to feed it bread.
Oh, hiss at people. Oh god, bloody Untitled Goose Game. It doesn't even look that good. It's the kind of thing which, if it's like 2 hours long, I'd just play it just because it'll be funny. Oh, what's the world come to? I just love indie developers. Like, Nintendo would never make bloody Untitled Goose Game. But the indies do. And that's why we love indie games, just because they can produce some rubbish. But once in a while, actually quite often really, you'll get some absolutely just amazingly weird games that are actually really fun. I mean, you look at Hollow Knight, it's literally about some bug walking around with a nail, like just flinging it at bigger bugs. And it's pretty dope. Well, I think on that inspiring thought of Hollow Knight and bugs, we'll finish things off. Have either of you two got anything else you want to say today?
I think I'm good.
I just want to say, keep an eye on our site and on our YouTube. We got some things coming up here pretty soon, and we got some big plans when Smash comes out. So just, tell your friends. Stick around. Thanks for listening.
And just, if you're watching this, leave some feedback. I had someone comment on one of our videos the other day saying, you sound a bit monotone. And I was like, I don't mind that. I'd rather, whether it's good or bad, I'm just happy to know it. And there were reasons which I present in a certain way, but if someone tells me to do it differently, or us to do something differently, if you don't like something we do, tell us. If you do it in a nice manner, we'll respond accordingly and see what we can do, because at the end of the day, it's not us who's reading our content, it's, the viewer, the listener, whatever you are. If you're reading some version of thing we've created that includes this podcast as a link, it's all about, your experiences. So as long as you do it in a polite way, you know, don't just say get the British tea drinking guy off, because I mean that's just not nice and that's never going to happen. But as long as you leave in good feedback. What are you mouthing off about now?
I said I think you have a sultry voice, Tom.
Well, you know, you're a bit strange, but I'm going to take that in a nice way. So, Step's getting kidnapped by planes earlier on. There's just mad things going on over there. But yeah, you know, like Mikey said, you know, got stuff going on, and you know, we're always trying to improve and work. You know, we've changed our reviewing system. We've changed, you know, like I said, how we review games. We've changed how we, you know, get the process of getting stuff out to people. We've changed what sites we're operating on, how we operate on them, what we're using our YouTube for. We're always changing these kind of things, and you know, sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does, but as long as we've got people there letting us know what they want, you know, that's why I love doing this, because you've got a lot of big sites that people just don't really like anymore. And you know, we hopefully are taking a place in that you can come to us and you can trust what we're saying and you can communicate with us. You know, we're always linking our Discord and stuff like that. It's because we want to talk to people. You know, we want to get involved in the discussions about big things, such as, will Untitled Goose Game be a heavy RPG game? It could be. But at the end of the day, thank you for listening to this podcast. I am going to have so much fun, you know, continuing to produce these kind of things, because it's great fun. You know, we haven't sat down in ages and just had a talk about stuff like this, and it's why we love doing this in the first place, to meet like-minded people. So be sure to let us know your thoughts on this brand new venture in the comments below on our YouTube. Be sure to go follow us on Twitter, Discord, leave all the links in the description, as well as a link to the site. You can check out all of our content. There's something for everyone. We've got a load of new series. We've got a brand new series coming soon, which should be available by the time this video goes out, which is what we're doing. We're looking into certain aspects of indie games, and we're kind of talking about why we think it's a really good idea, you know, which is really interesting, and it's something that I think a lot of people are interested in, so game design. But you know, anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you've been listening in another tab, that's what this is here for. I've been joined by two fabulous people today. One fabulous person, and Step, who's been kidnapped twice today. Mikey, do you want to say anything before we go?
Nope, just thanks for listening and stay tuned. We got a lot coming before the end of the year.
I mean, what a lovely voice. You want to stay tuned for that voice, even if you hate mine. I mean, it's a lovely. Step, what do you have to say if you've been released out of that plane now?
I have, and I just want to say thanks for listening, everybody, as always, and thank you for supporting the site. And we'll hopefully be doing this again very soon.
And Step's now going to go get back on Monster Hunter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts below, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and join our discussion on the Discord. My name is Tom, also known as the XV Project, and on behalf of Nindie Nexus, peace out.